Good morning, everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of Immigrant Success Stories by Amir Ismail and Associate. This is Amir Ismail from Toronto, Canada. I'm an authorized citizenship and immigration practitioner with over 8 years of immigration industry experience. If you want to learn more about our company and the services we provide since 1991, please visit our website, www.amirsmile.com. Our guest today is a profound IT professional with over 14 years of industry experience. He started his career in IT industry in Pakistan and also worked in Middle East before moving to Canada. His name is Zia Islam, and I'm very pleased to welcome him today. We assisted him in migrating to Canada in 2005, so I have known him for a very, very long time. He came to Canada with a Master of Computer Science degree from Pakistan and secured a second master's degree in Internet Working and Telecom Engineering from the prestigious Dalhousie University in Halifax, Nova Scotia. He has proven track record working for renowned companies including Coca-Cola, General Electric, IBM Canada, Hydro One, Telecom, BMO Financial Group, and Royal Bank of Canada. These are all big names. And he currently works at Government of Ontario as consultant engineer, data center networks. Today, he's here to share his experience, obstacles, barriers, opportunities, and great success he found in his new home. Before I formally invite him, let's watch a quick intro of Mr. Zia Islam. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, please, Mr. Zia Islam. Hello, Zia. How are you doing today?
Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum. Thanks for a very good introduction.
Yeah, my pleasure. I think I have not been able to do justice with your accomplishments and the long history of experience that you have in IT industry. But I would like you to provide a brief background about your education and your work experience, and then we'll take on questions that might help our audience who are interested in immigrating to Canada, especially those who are in IT industry. So let's have a small introduction.
Yeah, so I'll be quick. Basically, I did my schooling from Saudi Arabia, went back to Pakistan for bachelor's and master's in Karachi. And then, as you know, you helped me out back in 2000. It was year 2000, so almost 19 years ago, when you helped me file my immigration application.
It went out of my mind. I thought, you immigrated in 2005, and the year was 2000 when we started, right?
Yeah, that's when we started the immigration process. So yeah, we took our time, even though I could have come here a little earlier. So anyways, so yeah, that's where I did my master's, and then I moved back to Saudi Arabia for a couple of years. Finally came over as a permanent resident to Canada. So I worked here for a year. Right. Then I decided to pursue my master's. That's what I wanted to do. Sure. We can expand more on that later on. Right. And then so that helped me. Yeah.
I understand that you came here in 2005. It's been quite some time now, and if you look at the right way, you can see that the whole world is a garden. Did you, for one, look the right way when you chose Canada as your new home? Do you think that it was the right decision, or you somehow think that maybe it was not so right?
Oh no, definitely. I couldn't have made a better decision in my life than coming to Canada. Definitely, this is the place to be.
Mhm.
And there are lots of benefits here. So it's not only, I mean, I would say I would consider heaven on earth, to be honest. So it's not only about immigrating for a better life. It's about better career, better family life, better environment, better values, um, self-respect, and everything, justice, everything that comes with it. So um, there is, to be honest, no regrets here. Um, that was, we had the option back about different countries, but I think Canada was the
Was a
good
good,
decision, and I keep convincing my friends and family, do not delay.
yes,
The earlier the better you move here, so
right.
you can get all the benefits while you're here.
So,
Yeah.
Zia, first steps are always the hardest, but until they are taken, the notion of progress remains only a notion and not an achievement. Um, was deciding to immigrate to a new country like Canada difficult, and what motivated you to take the decision?
Well, in terms of motivation, we all aspire for better life opportunities. So that was my uh, main aspiration, I would say, and higher education, better education.
Right,
And even though when I filed my application or when I moved here, I wasn't married, but that's something in the back of your mind that one day you are gonna grow your family. So you want to grow somewhere where you feel comfortable, and you can take benefits
right.
that Canada offers.
Sure. Okay. And it is said that if you keep your face always toward the sunshine, the shadow will fall behind you. So that is very right. That if you are positive and if you take the decision and stand by it, success becomes inevitable. So I understand you hail from a big, bustling city, very lively city of Karachi, and you have also lived in Middle East, and then you, when you immigrated, you initially settled down in Toronto. You're still in Toronto now, but in the meantime, you went to Halifax, Nova Scotia, to obtain your master's degree from one of a very prestigious university, Dalhousie University. So I think you were there for a year or so, and coming from Karachi, and I know people from Karachi, they really like the social life and lively gatherings and late night sittings. Toronto is also very lively and bustling, but no comparison to Karachi in those terms. But then you move to a very small city, which is, I would say, a university town, maybe. Yes, there are, of course, students from all over the world there, but still, did you feel lonely or maybe depressed that may have sent you in a sort of a mode that you were not feeling that motivated because you did not have people around you?
No, not at all, actually. So, I mean, we always compare apple to apple. So, Karachi is Karachi. I mean, that's a different lifestyle.
Right,
You have lots of friends and everything there. But, keep in mind that we have a large community in Toronto and in Canada now.
right,
And chances are that you would have people from within your family or friends that you'll find.
right,
So, I've been lucky enough from day one to have a good social gathering here in Toronto.
right,
So I didn't feel much here, and plus there are tons and tons of activities to do here. You can get yourself engaged in many activities, and then you're right. When I moved to Nova Scotia, so that was basically a move for studies, purely studies. So that I choose that university because the program I was interested in, it's ranked number one in Canada
right,
for telecommunications. So that was the reason I wanted to go there. And so yeah, so that town is basically a smaller town. It's meant for it's called a study town, but then your life is revolving all around the study, so you really don't have much time
Yeah, you're focused.
for you're focused, and so you don't really have much time for any other activities, so you keep yourself busy.
Yeah.
And but keep in mind that when we say different activities, so I remember we used to go to do snow scoring there,
Hmm.
um, and um, and off-roading, um,
Hmm.
so things like that.
Yeah, you find a way to keep yourself busy once you get a little bit of time from your studies. So
Right.
that's a wonderful thing. You need to know how to adapt to the situation. But when you came here, of course, you came to Toronto, and did you find the need of upgrading your qualification? Did you find that perhaps upgrading your qualification would improve your chances of being employed? And would you recommend your IT professionals, other IT professionals who are coming from other parts of the world, would you recommend them to upgrade their qualification? Because you came here with a Master of Computer Science degree already. But what made you think that upgrading would be better and would yield some positive results?
So I would that's a really good question. So I would say that one advice doesn't fit everyone, so it's no general. We cannot generalize it. In my
Right,
case, I came in. I was very young. I don't have the responsibilities of of family and kids, so I had the luxury to take time off and focus on study.
right,
And that's a very expensive program that I did.
right.
But in IT or business, or there are certain fields where I've seen my younger brothers or my friends who got jobs, like decent jobs right away. Uh, when I say right away, I mean like within a couple of months, 2 3 months. So the thing is, even so, if somebody wants to do a master's, yeah, that's one way. But within IT field, we have the luxury of choosing what do we want. So if you have a good basic education, or university degree from back home, then we can decide to focus on just certifications or shorter diplomas, things like that. So and or maybe even not. If we get the first jump, where we can see that we have been able to land a good job where we can grow ourselves, so we can basically further grow ourselves based on that first step. So it really depends. S- if you are in a field where you do need to upgrade yourself,
Right.
then yeah, definitely plan for that. Don't worry about losing year income or 2 years income, because the thing is there are lots of facilities. uh, there can't be a better country than Canada
Yes.
to pursue education, because the thing is that you get funding from the government. For
Yes.
example, in Ontario, you do get loans and grants from the government
Right.
to pursue your education. Similar programs are offered in other provinces as well.
Okay,
So yeah.
this is a very good advice. I think, of course, it depends on the situation, but perhaps taking time out and upgrading your qualification and get a Canadian credential might help, and especially in your IT field where everything is evolving all the time. So you have to keep the pace with the changing technology, especially in the networking side and the hardware side, even in software. Wherever you look at, you have to improve yourself and be ready to improve your certification, the international certification or any specific
Yeah,
certification.
definitely. It's a very competitive marketplace here. So
Mhm.
we have to keep up ourselves upgrading all the time.
Yes,
And we have to keep in mind that a basic calculation that I normally tell my friends, that just see how many years you have left until your retirement. So if you are coming here at the age of 30, you got 35 years left. So might as well invest 1 year or a couple
right,
of years upgrading yourself, and secure your rest of the many years.
sure.
So yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so you basically answered my next question that was about acquiring the Canadian education, and your response is very clear. And we understand that life is like a game of chess. To win, you have to make a move, and knowing which move to make comes with insight and knowledge and research. So you have to be knowledgeable and make the move. And by learning the lessons that are accumulated along the way, sometimes we are very lucky to find people like Zia Islam who are willing and happy to share their experience so that we benefit from them and minimize our risk of failure, basically. So this is the purpose of arranging these sessions. So yeah, we do market our services all the time. We assist people in immigrating to Canada, but I think our settlement based philosophy that we follow at AIA, it warrants us to, and it requires us to assist people in settling down, which is the main goal of everyone. So you may go through your immigration application quite easily, but settling down is something. It's a daunting task, basically. And we are very thankful to Zia Islam that he's sharing uh, his details with us.
Yeah, I'd like to add there that this video series that you're doing, I've seen some other a couple of series that other videos that you have done with the other professionals. So
Yeah,
it's really good resource to help the newcomers, because there is this fear of uncertainty,
right,
unknown, that what's going to happen. So you see all these people who are encouraging you to come.
right.
So you get that extra assistance, that there are people who moved there with all the risk and everything in mind. They still settled down successfully. So back in the days, you were basically reliant on your on the feedback from somebody you immediately knew. But
Right.
now that you are introducing them to people from different phases of life and different professional lines, that's going to help a lot of people, I
Yeah,
would
we
say.
hope
That's
that
such a
it
good
helps
effort. Yeah.
everyone who is interested in coming to Canada. So this is the main goal. So they say that you should stop chasing the money and start chasing the passion. So do you see IT is your? Do you think that IT is your passion, or because if you love your profession, you don't really have to work even one day in your life. You basically enjoy what you're doing, and in return, of course, you earn money as well. So do you love IT, and do you think that you could have gone into any other field other than IT too?
Okay, so that's a really, again, a very good question. So in my case, I've been
Mm.
lucky enough that I love what I do. I enjoy it. I cannot imagine myself doing anything else, because that would be simply too boring for me. I mean,
Sure.
the field that I'm in, telecommunication networking, that keeps me interested, because every single day you have to upgrade yourself, know something, research something, find
Right.
out some new stuff, right? So that while you're working, earning money, you're basically satisfying yourself as well.
Mm.
But having said that, there are certain fields that you come from. So, for example, if you have a certain engineering background, if
Yes.
you land in Toronto, the jobs are not here for that kind of engineering. Let's say mining. Mining is not in Toronto, right? So you have,
Right.
for mining, if
Yeah.
you have to settle somewhere where there are mining industry. So in that case, so you have to be realistic. So you have to go with the market and the
Market.
demand. So either you basically upgrade yourself, or change
Mm.
your field, or move to a city where
Right.
you can. Yeah, so that goes hand in hand.
Right. Yeah. It might not be a good idea to start selling ice in or snow in
True,
Toronto.
very true. That's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
So that's how it is. Okay. So basically, everything involves risk. If you are not willing to take the risk, and if you're not willing to risk the usual, so you will have to settle for the ordinary, right? And I would like to ask you: did you have the fear that you are taking a big risk coming to Canada, as you may have been able to earn very good money and perhaps an equally good standard of life somewhere else, such as Middle East, where you in fact worked for a while? So were you thinking that maybe, I'm taking the decision, but I'm not too sure what's going to happen?
So there is a big difference when we talk about Middle East, or immigrating to Canada. So I lived all pretty much all my life in Middle East. My family was there. I
Yeah.
did my basic education. I worked there.
Mm.
But we have to keep in mind that's basically a job. So the life in Middle East revolve around the job that you got. So if you're lucky
Mm.
enough, you get a good job. As soon as you are let go of that job, or you leave, or you decide to move, then you are basically back to square one. But
Right.
in Canada, it's a life changing. So you are basically immigrating. So it's not only you get a job, you might lose the job another day. So so
Yeah.
the life here in Canada is not only about job. It's basically about the life and the opportunities that come with it, with all the other activities that you do. You grow your family here.
Sure.
So you get your passport, you're eligible to vote here. You get the same rights
Yeah.
as anybody else. So definitely no
So
comparison
basically,
between. Yeah.
Canada would own you. You would become part of Canada, part of fabric of Canada at the end of the day. So this is
Yeah, and they basically take pride in the diversity. So they proudly say that Canada is composed of people from so many different backgrounds. So they accept you very well here.
yeah, because it's like in a rainbow, right? There is no envy, jealousy, or hatred between the different colors of the rainbow, and no fear either. You know, because each one exists to make the others look more beautiful. And Canada is not a melting pot, but a beautiful mosaic where different people, different beliefs, different yearnings, different hopes, and different dreams come together. And but they all are woven in one Canadian fabric while
That's true.
maintaining their own identities. So that's how it is. And in terms of Canada, and I think you'll agree with me that it's a simple way to take measure of a country is to, I think, look at how many want in and how many want out. So, and we see that there are thousands and thousands of people who are interested in coming to this great country. So it speaks volumes about its credibility and its ability to integrate people in this society, regardless of their race and color and religious beliefs.
To be honest, in all the years that I've been here, about 16 years, I don't know a single person that who went back or who wanted to go back. The only reason a couple of people did go back were purely personal, family reasons. Their parents were sick, and things like that. But eventually they came back. So it's not a move that people usually regret. At
Yes.
least I don't know anybody. And
Yeah, and also it also depends as to what your circumstances are, and I think government of Canada responded to it very effectively when they changed the selection criteria. They put the emphasis on the age factor. We used to people used to lose only 2 points at the age of 50 in previous selection criteria. That means that even if you're 50 or more, you still were able to make it. But now they start deducting points from the age 36. So by the time you're 47, you lose all your points. In fact, a lot of people who contact us in the age bracket of 35 or more, we usually end up telling them that you might not qualify because you're losing substantial points in the age factor, or you might have to rely on other programs like provincial programs maybe, and those are not guarantees. So we can try, but we are not sure about it and what would be the outcome. So I think they responded very well. But yes, if you're coming in the right age bracket, and if you're prepared and you're flexible, so I think sky's the limit. What do you think?
100%, I couldn't agree more. So back in the days when people in their 50s were migrating, and I know my uncles and I know a lot of family friends. um, the thing is, if you have grown up kids, there is very little risk that you can take from career perspective, right? So
Right.
basically, your main goal is to earn, so that you can put bread on the table for your kids.
Right.
And so in that age bracket, their focus was mainly for the kids. So they that's what they say,
Right.
that they migrated for their kids, not for themselves.
Right.
Uh, um, but if you're coming in an earlier age, so the changes that Canadian government have made, it's not only beneficial for Canada, but it's only also beneficial for the immigrants who will be coming in.
Sure.
Because if you come in at a younger age, so let's say a young couple comes in, or unmarried, or even if you're coming in with the small kids,
Right.
so at that age, you can plan. It's all about planning your career. But
Sure.
so you go through certain phases. So at certain point you can take risk because you got the time until your retirement.
Sure.
So maybe first couple of years, or maybe first that's where you can focus on settling your base, and then once you're settled,
Yes.
you can basically start spreading your wings.
Yeah, so that's a good advice. So anyone who's interested, you need to make the decision earlier rather than later, because it's in your own interest to come here and start upgrading your qualification and establishing. It takes time. It doesn't come so quickly, and
Definitely. I mean, if you're deciding on immigrating, do it today.
right.
um, um, Contact Amir Ismail, and or
Thank you for
so
marketing
that
your
they can, yeah, so
recommendation.
they can help you out with all the nitty gritty details of the
Right.
procedure. But this earlier you come, the better it is. Definitely, there is no question
Yeah,
about
so I agree that there are no secret to success. It is the result of preparation and hard work and learning from failures. So that's how it should be. So I understand that when you came here, you came alone as a single immigrant, and then you also got married here in Canada. You have, mashallah, kids as well, and then your siblings also came along. In all essence, you paved the way for them as well. They came in, and one of your brothers, he came on a student visa, and then he applied to become permanent resident. And you also sponsored your parents in a relatively shorter time, because you were earning good money, and sponsorship of parents is entirely, I would say, dependent on your ability to support them. You sign a 10 years bond with the government of Canada that you're going to provide for them and provide everything for them. So you were able to do it. Now, a lot of people, when they come to Canada, they leave their family behind, and that is one reason that they sometimes find themselves a bit depressed, and then they feel they are away from their family. They eventually, of course, sponsor their parents in some cases. Sometimes their siblings join them as well. But in your case, I think it's been great that you have all the entire family here around you, and mashallah, all well settled.
Yes, Alhamdulillah, and of course it's all thanks to you, Amir Ismail and associates, and who have been helping me for over 20 years now. So not only he helped me file my application back in 2000, but he helped me along the way when I wanted to sponsor my parents, along with my dependent sister. She was unmarried at the time, and then younger brother, my uncle, his family, my other brother who came here on study permit, and then later became an immigrant. And all of us are citizen now, so we all got passports over the years. So that's the reason. I mean, that's something that we need to focus. That's when I say that moving to Canada is a life move. It's not only about getting a job, or it's not only about career. It's basically a move for the family. This is
Right.
one of the countries, or probably the only country, where you can bring all your family here. And I'm in one example, and you would find thousands and thousands of people here who have their parents living with them. So you don't have that fear of living separately, and worrying about your parents
Yeah.
being back home and then you're here. And now that the community have grown here, so people are getting married here. They are sponsoring their sisters, their younger
Right.
brothers, and so
Yeah.
basically you can build up. In my case, it's pretty much Pakistan for me, because I have all my family living here,
Yeah.
and I know lots of other people too. So think about it, and
Mhm.
eventually you can sponsor your spouse, sponsor your parents,
Right.
and help your siblings come here. So yeah.
Or at least extend a helping hand to those who are, distant relatives, or friends even. So you can do that, help them. And I think it's all about attitude. I mean, if you stick your ground here in this country, um, it all settles down positively. And I would say, what is the difference between an obstacle and an opportunity? I think it's all about your attitude toward it. Every opportunity has a difficulty, and every difficulty has an opportunity. So many of life's failures, I've seen that people who did not realize how close they were to success when they gave up. So I think sticking your ground here in this country is crucial.
Definitely. I mean, number one, you always keep your positive energy with you, right? You come in with a positive mindset, and luckily, in Canada, uh, we have system in place for everything. So all
Right.
you gotta do is plan and in follow your plan. So when you move here, you can divide yourself um, uh, your ambitions into short-term plans and long-term plans. Short-term plans could be focusing on how to overcome the initial phases. Everyone
Right.
has to go through those initial phases where you are trying to understand the system here. So things are different, uh, but things are not difficult. So there is a difference, right? So it's all about knowing. For example, the taxation system is different here. For example, the
Right.
transport system, the medical system, the education system. So how to find a job. So things like that. They are different. They work differently than how we used to work back home. So it's all about learning. So that does take time. But luckily enough, there is a lot of help now, right? So there are online help. Then our community have grown up with. So definitely we find people around who are helpful, who have valuable advice, and the interviews, the video series that Amir Ismail is conducting, things like that. So definitely we have a lot of help, people who can guide you. There is a lot of assistance programs, guidance programs from the government free of charge, that you can enroll yourself in for
Yeah.
the first initial phases. So once you're past that, then sky's the limit. Then you can move around to more long-term goals, like
Yeah.
basically focusing on your kids' higher education, buying a
Sure.
house, buying
Yeah.
properties. I know
Right.
people who have multiple properties here. They own those, right?
Sure.
So yeah.
Yeah, so patient perseverance, and if you really look closely, most overnight successes took a long time. It might feel that this guy is very successful here, but it took a long time. A very long story of hard work has been, a blood and sweat has been put into that success. So if you are that person, you can make it anywhere in this world. But of course, Canada is a land of opportunity. Your chances of succeeding
Definitely.
here are brighter. So, thank you very much, Zia, for sparing your precious, valuable time for our audience. We are very thankful. Any final thoughts you want to share with our audience? Then we'll bid you goodbye.
No, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity, and definitely this is a really good initiative that you have taken.
Thank you very much.
And I would like to encourage our viewers that if you're thinking about immigrating, do it now. You got all the help, so don't delay it. Plan for it. The sooner you move here, the better it is, and trust me, you won't regret it. Nobody does. Thank you so much.
Wonderful, wonderful advice, Zia. Thank you very much, and I wish you good luck. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So this was Zia Islam. What a wonderful gentleman, young IT professional who was sharing his thoughts, his advice, his experience with us about his journey to Canada. And as we discussed in this interview, um, the only a place where success comes before work is in the dictionary only, right? And opportunities don't happen; you create them. And we have the examples of these successful people who are making their mark in Canada. So I'll leave with you our contact details. We have an office in Pakistan since 1991, and we have an office in Canada where I'm based. So if you need any assistance in your immigration matters, please feel free to get in touch with us. I'm going to show you the slide of our contact information now, and you can note down our contact details. And I say goodbye from Toronto until our next program.